Three, two, one, action! I don't know why I did that. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Chranalyse. So today we're going to be talking about something. We're not actually going to be doing like a whole chapter analysis. We're going to just talk about a particular topic, which is God sees. Actually, I'm gonna add God here to that because that's the whole purpose of today's video. The audio might not be great, so I apologize in advance for that, but yeah, God sees amazing stuff. So a while back I was reading Genesis and we came across the word Elroy. So Jehovah Elroy essentially means God sees, like a God that sees, I think. Yeah. So I thought to myself, so many times it's easy to understand the concept that God is omnipresent. Of course, he sees, and he doesn't slumber, he doesn't sleep. He sees every single thing, every single one, at every single time, right? But oftentimes you don't understand the true meaning of that. So the fact that God sees, he doesn't just see and ignore. God sees, God forgives, God helps. And that last part is very important because when you're going through certain struggles in life, it might seem like, if God sees, why is he not doing anything? You know, God's plan is always what we should be aiming to, follow or allow to, walk in our lives. Because in the end, so even now, when you think about certain things that have happened to you, think about certain things in the past, certain things that you thought were not great, but over time you see how they link into another, like a blessing that God has given to you. So for me, an example would be a while back, there's an exam that I didn't perform as I wanted in that exam, but because of that, it made me think outside the box. It made me think, you know what, I kind of want to leave this country. I want to I want education that is at a level where I truly will, benefit from. And that's what led me to kind of exploring my options and yada. But yeah, so if I had passed that exam at maybe an amazing level, I had all A's, and I probably would not even have, kind of explored the other opportunities that I may have had, So that's to make you understand that God's plan is not man's plan. That was literally like my yearbook message thing in secondary school. But yeah, God's plan is not man's plan, and God's plan is the best. So we know that from Jeremiah 29, God says that his plans for us are good. So when you let God's plan go through, you cannot be surprised in a negative way because God's plans are good. Like, he's literally told us his plans are good. Just let him do his thing. And I know it's easier said than done, which is why I'm making this video, to continue to reinforce this, that not only does God see, but God also hears, he understands, and he works. God is not a dumb God. He's not an item that, cannot move, cannot do anything. God is very much life. He gave us life, so he's life. And he is seeing these things. He's hearing you. Like, I know oftentimes, like for me, I've been frustrated for the past few days because I keep making mistakes. I'll just say I keep making mistakes. And I'm like, God, I've been praying about this thing for a long time. And you're not answering me. I know you've answered another prayer that I prayed, but you're not answering me. And it's easy to get frustrated, to feel like God is not listening. Like, okay, you're hearing, you can see, but you're not listening. But no, God is definitely listening. God is definitely, hearing what you're saying and not taking notes, but he understands. He is working on it. Well, I don't know if that's the right thing to say, but anyway, you get the gist. And I just want to remind you that hang in there. God is working. Yeah, so in the background, you don't know how many things happen in the background. People say everything happens in the spiritual realm before it happens in the physical. So in that sense, you don't know what's happened in the spiritual. You don't know how many things that, how many battles that God has fought. You don't know how many things that God has changed even before, you realize physically. So I just want to remind us that God is him and his plans are good, and we should let his plans work. Because if you don't let God's plans work, then, and when you start feeling, when you dwell too much into the fact that, oh, I don't think God is listening to me, I don't think God is even like, oh, does God even exist? Then you start to go down a spiral. You start to, leave yourself susceptible for the devil to come into your life and, create doubts. The devil might bring in people that may lead you astray, lead you on to paths, like various, I don't know, maybe religions and things that you don't want to explore, So by not having faith, so it all boils down to faith. And what is faith? Actually, I had a verse, but I think I'm just going to keep on going because I'm on a roll. I might make another video on what I want to share. But anyway, faith is essentially believing in things you don't see, believing in something you don't see, having strong belief in something you don't see. But Hebrews 11 verse 1 gives us a perfect explanation of what faith is. And I always love this because I feel like it's very encompassing. I don't know if that's the right, yeah, it is the right word. So now, faith is the certainty of things hoped for, a proof of things not seen. It's that simple. Certainty of things hoped for. So you hope for something. Anyone can hope. I was saying this on TikTok a while back. Anyone can hope. But for you to be able to hope and have that certainty that, do you know what, I want this car. Anyone can want. People want things. You don't have to be a Christian to want things, to hope. Oh, I want to get that car, that Mercedes, something, But faith is a step further. So faith is, I'm going to have that car. I'm praying for that car. And I believe that God is going to answer me in the right time and give me that car. And then again, when God answers, so I must say we should not put God in a box, because when God answers, it might not be that Mercedes AMG. Is that the name of the car? I don't know. That you wanted. Heck, it might even be a Porsche, it might be some other, do you know what I mean? So it might even be like, it might be a BMW or something. It might not even be that massive. It might just be a car that can get you from one place to another, but many other blessings down the line, or even surrounding like that particular scenario, So I want to continue to remind you that God is working. So if you ever felt like you were drifting away slowly and just falling into that rabbit hole of depression, lack of hope, lack of faith, then I want to remind you that continue to have faith, have that certainty, because if you trust in God, then you have that faith, you know that God can do it. So if you don't have faith, it means that you don't truly believe that God can do it. I know it might sound harsh, but that's the bottom line of it. You cannot believe something and not have like complete belief in it, because that means you have wavering belief, so your faith is wonky. So you need to have strong faith. Actually, I don't even think you can have wonky faith. I think faith, even the size of a mustard seed, is massive. So you can't really put it on a what's that thing called, spectrum. But anyway, continue to have faith, continue to trust God, because God sees and he acts. Amen.